I was born in Mount Sinai Hospital in Miami Beach, Florida. I am actually a Miami native. I'm one of four. I'm third in the birth order, which I think has a lot to do with things. My mom was a homemaker, my dad was an accountant. My first job was in a kosher butcher shop, washing the fat barrels, cleaning the showcases, cleaning the bandsaw. It was sort of the $1.50 an hour job and all you can eat. I decided that I wanted to, not do what everybody else was doing and go to the University of Florida. I wanted to go out of state, so I wound up in South Carolina at Clemson University.
What did you study there?
Originally biology, ultimately finance. Well, it turns out none of those skills are really working with me today, but in between I became a paramedic, which is where I think I really did find a passion. I was on my way to pick up my matriculation form when a young man who was my neighbor was killed. He had come over to tell me I left the lights on in the car, and then a few minutes later he was killed. We're out in the middle of nowhere, nobody knew what to do, and it was tragic. The university had a volunteer ambulance corps and emergency medical technicians. It's the most basic level of certification on your way to becoming a paramedic, and I joined that. And a year later, I found I was probably spending more time hanging out doing that than I was going to class. So I interrupted my studies to return later, became a paramedic, and did that full time for a couple of years before I went back and finished. After I graduated from Clemson, I went to work in upstate South Carolina for about 5 years, and the hospitals here were recruiting for an executive to build a program different than the one they had. Peoria Hospitals Mobile Medical Services is the official name of AMT, and it was not succeeding to the extent the hospitals and the medical community wanted. So I was hired to be part of a new team to change that paradigm. I simply tell people I work in healthcare. I'm involved in emergency medical services, and we provide paramedic care in a community. We're this conduit through which a patient passes on his or her journey into the healthcare system. And there's some moments there where we can favorably impact how you're going, or perhaps it's in God's hands. We can't, but people should be treated with respect and dignity regardless of what time of day or what neighborhood they come from. And I think we do that every single day. Listen to your elders. My dad was a pretty big role model. He taught me you can't expect great results without putting in the work. It's sort of the textbook. Parents, mentors, friends, role models, we have a job to help indoctrinate young people into the benefits of taking your time and studying something before you leap in. The subject of financial literacy, just in its very basic details, is something that I see to be a challenge with the 300 people I go to work with every day. The decisions that we make, whether we want to build entrepreneurs or we want to improve financial literacy in people or we want to grow an economy, junior achievement, I think, is a big cog in the center of all those realities. The truth is, enterprise has a couple of caveats, and one of the obvious ones you learn after a failure is you can't spend more than you take in. Most entrepreneurs that I know many, they've all failed to some extent. And it's what you learn from those failures that probably makes you the most successful enterprise or entrepreneur in the long term. The last thing I thought I would be doing is chairing the Peoria County Board. Politics is a little bit about the art of compromise and adding debate and dialogue to a discussion that is meaningful and has some corporate responsibility to a community. Taking time to listen, learn, and feel a little bit and sense the world around you, for me, it makes the colors are more clear. It's not too difficult to find an opportunity to apply some help to. All you have to do is look, listen, and feel, and the world will show you things that need a little bit of tending to. I involve myself in things because people who have some skills to raise money or help advance an organization's mission by simply being a proponent of it, that's an important duty to do, and I probably spend as much time doing that as I do my main job at AMT. What do I do for a living? I just try to have a positive impact on the quality of life and the community where I live and work every single day. That's what I do for a living.